I think we should get started. What do you think?
I think so too. I'm going to post it again, but yeah, let's go ahead and get started.
Okay, super. Amanda, anything to add before we get started?
No, I just wanted to welcome everybody and thank you, John, for being willing to teach us all about business planning. I appreciate very much.
Sure, absolutely. I kind of already had this business planning workshop worked out because I worked for the state association for a few years, and part of my job was to run around the state and teach the small offices that didn't have a lot of support business planning workshops. So this is something that I had together anyway. So thanks for inviting me here, and Toby thinking of me to put this thing together because I already had it kind of done. So let's do real estate business planning workshop. We're going to roll through this. And we're going to talk a little bit about mindset. We're going to talk a little bit about, attitude, and then we're going to get into some meat and potatoes about how to set your goals. Make sure you have your calculator handy. We're going to do some serious math here to determine exactly how many houses you're going to have to sell this year to make sure that you reach your goals. So number one, attitude is everything. 90% of success in real estate can be attributed to attitude. Your expectations can lead to success. If we know exactly how many houses we need to sell this year to reach your financial goals, then it's easy. It's going to be easy to reach those financial goals, and you're going to be surprised at how few houses you have to sell for most people that will help you reach those goals. But the important thing is to have a positive attitude in real estate. If you go around and you're the person, and I'm sure you all have this type of person in your office that whines and complains about everything that's going on in the world and what's happening to them, you're in control of your destiny. Your attitude, your positive attitude is going to push you forward in this business, I promise. You having some confidence, you not blaming the market, but on what's going wrong in your business. Everything can be changed, and it's your schedule and your timing and the things that you do in your business every day that can change the way your business is going and make sure that it helps you hit your goals. So we're going to change your attitude just a little bit by starting out with, when an opportunity arises, are you expecting success or failure? Just a different way to think here. So whenever you want to go get a listing, instead of I'm going to go make a presentation, we're not going to go make presentations. We're going to go secure a listing. Mindset. It's all about, we're going to secure that listing. We're not going to do a listing presentation. We're going to secure a listing. It just sets that in your mind that you're going to secure that listing, and it'll happen. And then instead of with buyers, I'm going out to show houses. You're not going to go show buyers houses. You're going to go find them a new home. So just that attitude change will definitely perk you up a little bit and make sure that you are going out to find them a new home. You're not going to go show houses. Who likes to go show houses? I don't mind showing houses, but I'd rather go out and find a new home, write a contract, right? Good. So you aren't in the business of showing property. You're in the business of selling property. So we got to keep a positive attitude in real estate. Number one, we never, ever want to put down the competition. Especially whenever we're meeting with other clients and they say, yeah, I talked to so-and-so, but they never got back to me, or I didn't like what they had to say, or I didn't like the color of the shirt, or whatever. We don't want to say, oh yeah, they always wear ugly colored shirts. Whatever it is, we never want to put down the competition. You always talk positively about your competition. You never want to criticize the client. The client is always, the top of that's our business. And, you never want to criticize them or criticize, what they like in a house or don't like in a house. I know that I've been early, whenever I started, I'd walk in a house and see like green shag carpet and say, or wallpaper, and say, ooh, who'd like this? And I quickly, fix that whenever someone says, I love this wallpaper, or I love this carpet. It's so nostalgic. It's awesome. You never know what somebody else is going to like and what they're not going to like. So don't criticize the client. Don't criticize the properties you're looking at all until you know what the client's thoughts are about that property. Don't make excuses. Again, I said before, don't make excuses. The market is terrible right now. It's hard to get listings because we have such low inventory. I can't find a buyer because they're working with everybody else. Don't make excuses in real estate. It's all up to you. Make things happen. And then don't talk to the client in a negative tone. We always want to have a positive attitude and a positive tone with our clients. If you give them a woe is me type attitude, they're going to have a woe is me attitude, and they're not going to be, proactive to work with you. And never sell desperate. Never put together a contract and make things happen because you're desperate for a paycheck. Sure, we all get in that situation where we really need to make sure that, to reach our goals, we need to sell a house this month or 2 or 3 or 5 or whatever. But don't put things together in a desperate situation. You want to be in control of your business, be in control of your lead generation, which is going to help you stay out of that desperation phase. Never ask a question they can say no to. Open-ended questions are the key. Don't ask, any question they can say no to. You always ask questions that they have to say yes to. By getting them to say yes, it puts them in a positive mindset. When doing a buyer presentation, I have, instead of whipping out the buyer listing paperwork, the exclusive agency agreement for buyers, I have multiple questions that I share with them that get them to say yes multiple times. So whenever I pull out that scary documentation, showing them the buyer, getting them to sign the buyer agency agreement, they've said yes so many times to me with the questions that I've asked them up to that point that they're not going to say no whenever I show them a scary document that they need to sign. They're going to say yes, and they're going to sign it. Never assume anything. Always ask questions. If you're a newer agent, make sure you're talking to your broker. Or an agent, a mentor in the office. Never assume anything with the paperwork or with clients. I can tell a story about one time I was in the office and the phone rang and someone called and they asked about a listing that I had. And I said, yep, I've got this house. It's clear up in Perry. It's in one of those little neighborhoods up on the other side of Perry by Ozaki. And they said, well, we'd really like to look at it. Can we look at it? And I'm thinking, yeah, are you guys pre-approved? And this was over the phone. And they said, yeah, we're pre-approved. It's not going to be an issue. We're all good. It's not a problem. I said, sure. When can we look at it? Well, we can look this afternoon. So they come in the office. So I go downstairs. I get a call. They're downstairs. I go downstairs and here's this two grubby looking almost teenagers. They're like 19, 20 years old. And they're just ripped hole jeans and heavy metal t-shirts. And I'm thinking, these people can't afford this $120,000 house, but I had nothing else to do. So I hopped in the car with them and we drove up to Perry to go look at this house. On the way, I'm asking questions like, what do you guys do for a living? And he looks at me and he goes, well, I like to play drums. I like to play video games. And they're giving me these kinds of answers. And I'm like, no, what do you do for a living? Oh, well, we don't work. And I'm like, okay, so how are we getting pre-approved for this property? Well, ends up that she was a Native American and she was a part of the Prairie Band Casino up north. And well, no, it wasn't the Prairie Band. It was another casino in Iowa. And she gets a check every single month for $20,000. No questions asked. So I knew we were going to have to see this, and she whips out her purse and she shows me her W-2, $120,000 or $240,000 even is how much her W-2 from the prior year said. I assumed by looking at them that they couldn't afford this house. They actually had cash to buy this house and ended up buying that house. But I was assuming through that whole process that I was wasting my time, that they would never be able to buy a house. So don't just assume anything. Ask lots of questions. And never sell what you've done. You don't want to go into an appointment and say, I've sold X amount of houses. I've done this. It's not all about what you've done. It's about what the clients need. So keeping a positive attitude is not bragging upon yourself on everything that you've done. It's really about finding out and questioning what the clients need and staying positive with them on making sure that you can sell them on, find them the house that they need, or sell them on your services and how you can solve their problems that they have in finding a house or selling their house. Always sell what you can do for the client. Always, always, always show confidence just by walking in and knowing that you know more than the people that you're with, either in a buying situation or a selling situation, about the process. Confidence take you a long way. Always show concern about your customers' wants and needs. Again, ask questions, find out what they need, find out what their situation is. If we can find out their desires, that's going to help us determine how to help them best. Build rapport and find a common interest. As you're walking around their house, you're at a listing appointment and you're going to secure that listing. Find something, you see a picture of their kids playing soccer and you know a little bit about soccer, you played soccer, bring that up. Build rapport with these people. It definitely will help you secure that listing or maintain them as a buyer for sure. Maintain professionalism under stress. It's no good whenever, something terrible happens and you lose your cool before they do. I remember whenever I was a broker of another company here in town, had an agent come in and she was crying and upset because a home inspection came in terrible. And I said, well, what'd your seller say about this? And she goes, I haven't talked to him about it yet. 15 minutes later, she calls me and she's all cheerful and comes popping in my office because she called the sellers and said, hey, this is the issue. And they're like, well, we knew that there were going to be some problems. We knew that roof was going to be bad. So we were expecting we were probably going to have to fix it. But she lost her cool, and she, not in front of them, but in front of me, her broker, and was crying and upset because it came out terribly. And she wasted 30 minutes to an hour stressing about how to have this conversation with the seller whenever she didn't need to. They already knew. So just be professional all the time under any stress. Be flexible and ready to learn new techniques and technologies. There's lots of technology out there. When I wrote this course, it was probably 2014, 2015. We didn't have all these awesome tools like .loop and DocuSign and everything that we have today. So learning new technologies is not as hard as it is today as it was then. But what did we learn last year? We all had to learn how to use Zoom and Microsoft Teams and those kinds of things. So just be flexible to use these things. And whenever we had to flex last year and learn how to do Zoom calls, to do listing presentations, and to talk to people about contracts on Zoom calls or Microsoft Teams, that's being flexible. We just have to learn how to continue to be flexible. I've been in this business for a little over 20 years and things are constantly changing. So if you're new in this real estate business, don't worry. Next year, something will be new and we'll be doing things a new way. I promise. Always dress professional and act professional. I've been told that you should kind of dress the way your clients dress. But I always want to be a little bit overdressed more than them. This is going to help you build rapport with them and help show your professionalism. I don't ever recommend showing up in flip-flops and shorts to show a house. Unless the people are friends and they're really low-key, you should always dress and act professional in front of your clients. Be available by cell phone. This is pretty easy to know what that means, and use a sense of humor. Be entertaining. Have fun with your people. They're out looking at houses, and this is a fun time for them to find houses. So don't be a stick in the mud. Make sure you're having fun. This should be a fun event for them. And commit to excellence. Be a good realtor. Make sure that you're being ethical. Make sure you're treating your realtor parties on the other side of the deal and agents that have houses you're showing, treat them with respect. Just be a great realtor. Build trust with your clients. You want them to trust you and you want to trust them. Just if you say you're going to do something, do something. Don't say I'll deliver, let me email that to you tomorrow and then deliver it 3 days later. You'll lose clients easy that way. Be positive. Don't have a negative attitude. Believe in yourself. Again, show confidence. You know more about this transaction and about this process than they do. So just believe it and show it to them. And then listen to what the client says. Pay attention. You have one mouth and 2 ears. You have 2 ears because you should listen. If they say that they don't want to be in a certain school district or in a certain area, don't show them houses in that area. It's okay to say, I know you said you didn't want to be in this area, but here is a house in this area I think you shouldn't discount, and offer it to them, but don't just send it to them and because it looks, you need to make sure you're listening to them and let them know you're listening to them throughout the process. So let's talk about building your business. There's a difference between working on your business and working in your business. Working on your business is setting up systems, organizing, doing things in the office, marketing, getting postcards ready or writing letters or writing emails, things that you can work on that aren't individual for one person, but things that you're working on to implement into a system so that you have a direction to go every day. Things that are going to generate business in the future, systems and programs that are going to generate business in your future. That's working on your business. We need to make sure you're spending time every day working on your business. Now, working in your business is when you're physically talking to clients. If you're emailing houses to someone, you're searching the MLS for people for houses, you're showing houses, you're going on listing appointments, you're preparing things for your listing appointment. That is working in your business. Now, in your business makes you money today. Working on your business makes you money in the future. So make sure you're balancing your business from working on your business to working in your business. If all you do is work in your business, you'll have no business in the future. It makes it really difficult to build your pipeline of people that are going to do business in the future if you're not working on your business. You'll just have a handful of people that want to do business now. When you run out of those people, then you got to work on your business to find more people. So make sure you're balancing that out. working on your business versus working in your business. How to think big. Thinking big is a learned process, and anyone can do it if they take time to work on the process. So today, whenever we set our goals, I really want you to think big. I want you to think about, what do I want to do? You know, how much do I need to make just to pay the bills? But then what's bigger? Do you want to put some extra money back for retirement? Do you want to put some extra money back for the kids' college funds? Do you want to put some money back so you can buy a new car? Do you want to put some money back so you can you buy a vacation home or go on a vacation? You know, let's think really big about what we want from this business, because you might be surprised at the end of the day. This tells us to reach your financial goals that you have to set a minimum. You know, you have to set, let's just say you want to make $100,000. Whenever we work all this math down, you may just have to do 2 transactions a month. Maybe you're in a situation where you're already doing more than 2 transactions a month. Maybe you're in a situation where you're doing 1 transaction a month, or 1 transaction every other month. If we can just get to that 2 transactions a month, then that's going to help us reach our goal. But let's think bigger. What would we have to do to get to 3 transactions or 4 transactions a month more than what you're doing now? Would it take too much more work? I think these goals, when we set these goals, you might be surprised at how little business you have to do to hit these goals, and how many actions, what kind of actions you have to take to hit these goals. So we want to really think big to make sure that we're thinking big on these goals, so that if we have big goals, then our actions are still going to be manageable at the end, but you'll see. It's surprising how few of transactions you have to make to hit for the goals that most people want to hit. So here's just an idea. Here in our company, and I've done this with agents around the state, is building a dream board. And this is just going through a magazine or printing pictures off the internet of everything you want in the world. So this person, they have a Jeep on here. They want to buy a Jeep. They have $100 million. Does that say $100 million? They want $100 million. They have vacations on here, places to go, coaching clients. They want to be a best-selling author. They want to spend time with their significant other. They want to get healthy. Things like this. You want to take these things, put them on your dream board. If you haven't seen the movie, The Secret, it's a great movie about how the universe interacts with the dream board. They talk a little bit about dream boards. And there's a story on there of a guy that had put together a dream board, and he went and they moved and he packed it away, and, you know, in a box, and they moved. And after they moved, he was opening up the box and pulled out this dream board. And he had a picture of a house on there that was his dream house. And here we are 4 or 5 years later, and he looks at that house and he thinks about it, and he's like, this is the house we bought. The picture that he had put on his dream board was the exact house that they had bought 5 years, 6 years later, which was just crazy. And it just, if you put these visions on here, subconsciously makes your mind work towards reaching these visions. So I wouldn't be surprised if whoever put this together works from home now. I wouldn't be surprised if they have gone on a beach vacation, if they own a Jeep, if they might be a best-selling author or working towards it. Think about building a dream board. Think about putting what you want your life to look like in the future on this dream board. And in the future, it'll happen. I guarantee it. So let's talk about finding time to build your business. So how many hours each day do you have time to work on your business? I will make sure to take these slides and I'll give them to Amanda. And Amanda, if you can make a note on who's on this call, or maybe you guys want to just email Amanda and say, hey, send me the slides from the presentation today. So you guys can fill these blanks out. But we want to see, how many hours in a day do you have to work on your business? Maybe if you have a piece of paper, you want to work on this now. How many hours do you sleep? How many hours do you spend with family and friends? How many hours do you eat? How many hours for personal time, fitness, grooming, reading a book, whatever? How many hours a day do you drive? Let's subtract that by 24. How many hours available in a day do you have for business? Is it 8? Is it 10? Is it more? We need to make sure we're applying hours in our day, every day, for our business. When we had most of us on this phone call probably had a 8 to 5 job at some point, had a real job. Is real estate a real job? No, real estate is not a real job, because sometimes we work more hours than 8 to 5, right? So how many hours available are in your day for business? Are you getting enough time with your family and friends? Can you apply some more time to that? If you are a good realtor and you know how to manage your schedule, and you're effective with your schedule every day, you can have more time with your family and friends. There was a time not long ago, it's a little bit different at the moment, but there was a time not long ago, I don't show houses, and I still don't. I don't show houses after 6 o'clock. The only reason I say that it was a while ago is because right now, if a house comes on the market today and I have to show a house today, I have to show it today, or else it's not going to be on the market tomorrow, right? But until this market hit us, I wasn't showing houses after 6 o'clock. I wasn't working on Saturdays and Sundays. Once in a while, I'd spend 2 hours working on a Saturday or a Sunday, but 2 hours for a weekend, it's amazing. The way I do this is because I manage my schedule. I manage my schedule with my clients, and I just say I'm not available on the weekends. If you really need me, let me know. But you know, in this weird market we're in right now, we got to go when we got to go. But for the most part, I don't show houses after 6 o'clock. And I talked to a realtor not too long ago, and she calls me at 8:30, and she goes, "I just got done showing houses." It's been this way every night this week. Is that agent in control of her schedule? Probably not. But it's possible in this business to run this business like a real business and to run it like a job, where you should be up at 7, 6:30, 7, 8 o'clock every morning at your desk, working on your business, working in your business, building your business so that it runs like a business. So that when the family is home, you don't have to work in your business. You can spend time with your family and friends. Think about that and what you should change in your business. If you're one of those agents that's working till all hours in the night, what can you change in your business to ensure that this doesn't happen? My phone, just to be honest with all of you, my phone, it goes on do not disturb at 8:30 every night. I don't answer the phone after, 8:30. It used to be my phone would ring at 10 o'clock or 9:30 with people that wanted me to do something. If they're calling me at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, is there anything beyond negotiating a contract? Is there anything they can want that I can't do in the morning? I probably can't make any phone calls to agents and ask questions about properties and search things. It can all wait until the morning. Your personal time with your family is precious. Honor it. Put it on your schedule. If somebody wants you to do something in that time, sorry, I already have an appointment. That's all you have to say. And they'll flex to your time most of the time. So 2020 performance review. Let's talk about last year. Did you reach your goals for 2020? What were your goals? Did you have set goals? If you didn't reach those goals, what prevented you from reaching those goals? Can't tell me it was the market, because for a lot of agents that I know, the market was great and most people exceeded their goals last year. What'd you do right in 2020? I think this is important. You should write that down. What did I do right in 2020? What did I do that actually generated the business that I expected to generate? Did you start a new marketing campaign? Did you make more phone calls? Did you door knock? What did work? Make a note somewhere. What worked for you in 2020? What's the best thing you did to increase your production? Be specific. How many open houses did you have? Probably not many with COVID. How many listening presentations did you do? What did you do that worked, that made your business go up? And don't tell me, oh, the market was just great, so my business increased. Obviously, you did something. If you didn't do anything and your business increased, that's great. But what are you going to do to keep that rolling this year? Because in my honest opinion, business might be hard to come by this year. Sure, we have lots of buyers out there that want to buy houses. It's easy to pick up buyers, right? But if every offer you're writing with these buyers are kind of a time suck right now, because you go out and you show them a house, they write an offer and you lose it to 6 other offers. You go out tomorrow and you write an offer, you look at a house, you write an offer, you lose to 6 other offers. Now, of course, there's ways you can win that offer every single time, but you have to be really good at convincing your buyers that you're right when writing an offer, and they have to be able to potentially pay full price or more than full price to win most of the time. So what can you do? Finding buyers is easy, but what can we do to find more sellers? Sellers is easy right now. They're hard to find, but if you find them and you get the property listed, what happens? Gone. 1 day, 2 days, 1 week, whatever. So who should we be working on right now? Should be working on finding listings. What can you do? And what did you do last year to find listings? Let's keep that up. And then what's the best thing you can do to increase 2021 production? What are you not doing right now that you can change and you can add to increase production for 2021? What's something that's on your list that you thought, oh, if I just had time to do this, it would increase my business? Think about that. If you want more than what you had last year, we got to do something a little bit different. We got to add to our working on our business. We have to add it. So let's list your top 3 business goals. So think about this. What do you want? What is your top 3 business goals? Do you have a financial goal? Do you want to earn $100,000, $150,000, $175,000, $200,000, $1 million? What else is your top 3 business goals? Want to hire an admin? Want to get my listing presentation in order? Want to put together a buyer presentation because I don't have one? What are your goals? Let's put them on this list. And then secondly, list your top 3 personal non-business goals. What are your 3 business non-personal or your personal non-business goals? Want to go on a vacation? Want to go on 2 vacations? How about 3? How about buy a new vehicle? How about save X amount of dollars for college funders, 401k, or something like that? Health can be in here too. One of my goals is to lose, not me, but you could put on here, one of your goals is to lose 15 pounds. Well, that should probably be my goal. I should put that on there. Today's a good day to start working on a goal like that because it's nice out. You should go for a walk. I should, shouldn't I? It can be anything. Drink more water. Whatever. You have to have business goals and personal goals. And the reason I say you should have personal goals is because we shouldn't just be focused on our business all the time. You need to focus on yourself too. So extending your vision. Let's talk about what can your broker or office do to help you achieve your goal? Who can help you do more? What tools does your office have that maybe you're not taking advantage of that you could take advantage of that's going to boost your business? Every office has these things. Doesn't matter what company you're with. Your franchise has tools. If you're with a franchise, has tools to help you achieve your goal. Even if you're not with a franchise, the smaller brokerages, some of them have tools that can help you achieve your goals, can help you get more business. Are you using them? So what are your plans to increase your real estate knowledge, your expertise, and your level of professionalism? Are you taking trainings on a regular basis? Are you reading books? I'm not as good as some agents around here, but usually in a year, I'll read about 6 business books. Either it'll be a real estate book or just how to run my business, like how to get my business in a business type situation. Great one to read. If you haven't read The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, I know that it was written by Gary Keller of Keller Williams, and I work at Keller Williams. I'm not promoting it for that reason. When I was the broker of a other real estate company, I was giving that book to my agents. And so many agents have said, thanks for sharing that book with me. It changed the way I look at my business. It's a great business book on how to run your real estate business as a business, no matter what franchise you're with. It's a great book. Profit First. Profit First is a great book on how to manage your business and how to manage your finances. Do you have your business in all your finances in QuickBooks? Do you even have a business account versus a personal account? You should separate these things. You should talk to your CPA about whether you should be an LLC or you should be running a sole proprietorship. You do get to a point in your business where you should be running yourself as an LLC, as an S Corp. At what point should you be there? Reading, training, those kinds of things can help you get there and to help you run your business like a business. So how many of your past clients are raving fans? Are they people that just tout your name everywhere you go? Your past clients. Are they people that when they hear someone wanting to do real estate, that they say, oh, you have to call so-and-so, my agent, because my agent is awesome? If you don't have raving fans right now, what can you do to get these people to be your raving fans? What can you do to increase your percentage of raving fans? How do you handle your past clients after they're past clients? Now they're in the past. We talk to them every day or every couple of days whenever they're in a transaction to give them updates on what's going on and to push them forward in the transaction. And then we close, and a lot of agents just drop the ball. They never call them again. I know they don't call them again because they call me and say, hey, I want to list my house, and I see that they sold their house 12 months ago with an agent. I'm like, why aren't you calling this agent? And they said, well, you've been mailing me stuff, maybe in my farm area. or you've been communicating with me because they hit my website and then I follow up. But why aren't they calling their list, the agent that sold in the house? Because that agent probably never followed up with them ever again after they sold the house. I've had some people say, John, we spent so much time together and we talked like every other day for the last month while we were buying this house. And, are we still going to talk? Are you going to call me on a regular basis? It's like, yeah, I will. We'll talk once a quarter or so. And after closing, I always pick up the phone and call them. How was that experience? How'd the move go? Anything else I can do for you? And this creates raving fans. This creates referrals coming into my business from my past clients on a regular basis that I don't have to work so hard to find online leads because I have business coming in. Think about your raving fans and what you have to do to change your business to get more raving fans. So let's talk about numbers. This is where the math part comes in. Look at that. It's 12:30, and that's whenever I wanted to get to this section. So this is important. Let's analyze your personal spending, then use that information to determine a goal for your annual take-home income. So in the box to the right, and again, talk to Amanda. I'll get her a copy of this presentation so you can have it. And you can just fill these boxes in if you want to. In the box to the right, fill in the fields based on your monthly expenses. This is monthly. See at the bottom it says monthly expenses total. This is monthly. Now, so many people say, if I'm married and my spouse has, or I'm with a significant other and my spouse pays for half of this stuff, should I put 50% of that number in there or should I put the full number in there? That's completely up to you. I suggest you put the full number in there. You want to know what your total monthly expenses are. What happens if you ultimately become the primary breadwinner? What if your spouse loses their job or gets injured and can't work anymore? You should know exactly how much you have to earn to be able to cover the monthly expenses. So I suggest in this column that you go down this list and just think about every single monthly expense you have, put that information in there so that you know what your total monthly expenses are. Now, there's a secret with this worksheet that you can see that this is orangish, right? It's kind of a peachy color. When we go to the next page, we're going to look for the peachy color box. Whatever number you put in this box, we're going to plug in right here. Peachy color goes to peachy color. So now you know how much money you need to cover your expenses each month. Let's calculate your annual expenses. So let's write this down. Get a piece of paper out. I'll give you a second. And I want you to guess what your monthly expenses are. I know I haven't given you enough time to fill in all those monthly expenses, but I just want you to guess so we can play with these numbers. So plug a number in there. Just write down what you think your monthly expenses are. And then I want you to take it times 12. And that's going to be this gray box. So your monthly expenses times 12 equals this gray box. So we know annually, this is how much our expenses are. So hopefully we'll want to make more than what those monthly expenses are, right? So now, how much do you really want to make? Now you know how much you need to cover your expenses each and every month and for an entire year, but you want to make more, right? You want to think about vacations, adding to your retirement, your kids' college funds, installing a pool. Who wants a pool? Or a more expensive home, or a boat, or a camper, or whatever. So how much money would you like to make? This is your target take-home income annually. This is an annual number. So let's say this comes up to be $100,000. Well, we need more than $100,000 for your expenses. We want to put some more money away, right? So we want to say, let's say if this was $100,000, we're going to make this like 125, 115, 110, 150, whatever you want it to be. This blue number right here is a number that you get to choose based on this number right here. So we put our target take-home income in here. So hopefully you've guesstimated what your monthly expenses are going to be. You've taken that times 12. You've come up with this number, which gives you an idea of what number you need to stick in here. So let's write a number down, this blue number, target take-home income. Write that down on a piece of paper. So now we're going to take that target take-home income and we're going to plug that in right here. So far we worked on your take-home income. Now we got to make sure you got to have enough to pay Uncle Sam. We have to pay taxes, right? So let's figure out what your how much taxes you're going to have to pay, or how much you're going to have left over after you pay taxes. So your estimated tax rate, for a lot of people, it's going to be 0.3, it's going to be 30%, or 28%. whatever your tax rate is, you can find this by talking to your CPA or maybe on your taxes. If you go on Google and you just type in what's my tax rate and you put in what your annual income is, it should be able to spit that out as well. So I just put in a 30 in here just for, you know, easy numbers, just so you can see how the math works. So if you put 30% in here as your tax rate, divide that by 100, that makes it 0.3. We push that number over to here. So we go 1 minus 0.3 equals 0.7. We drop that down to here, and we take our target take-home income, which was this blue box right here, and we take that divided by 0.7. So let's say that target take-home income was $125,000. You plug in your number here. And we take that divided by 0.7. That means at the end of the year, you're going to have, after you pay taxes, that didn't work. 125 times point divided by 0.7. Oh, no, this is correct. Divided by 0.7 equals $178,000. $178,000 is how much, is how much I need to make, because 53,000 of that's going to go to taxes. If I want to take home $125,000, I'm going to have to make $178,000 to pay taxes. So $53,000 of that is going to go to taxes. That's going to leave me with $125,000. So our target taxable income is 178. We need to make 178 if we want to take home 125. Hopefully this math is making sense. If not, drop questions in the chat box. So wait, doesn't your broker get a share? So a portion of your commission income is going to go to your broker, right? We typically have to pay them some kind of percentage. This is typically a straight commission split based on percentage of your GCI. So I just put in their average commission split with your broker's 50%. Maybe it's more, maybe it's less, I don't know. Divide that by 100 is equal to 0.5. We drop that 0.5 in here. So then we take our taxable income, which was $178,000, and I take that divided by 0.5 is equal to, oh my gosh, that's a lot. Divided by 0.5 is, I messed it up. It's 356. So if I want to take home $125,000, I have to earn $178,000 of taxable income, but my income before my commission split, because I have to pay my broker if I'm at a 50% split, is $356,000. $356,000 I have to earn if I want to put $125,000 in my pocket. Now, if your commission split's different, let's just say your commission split was 70%. Then that only means I have to make, instead of $350,000, I have to make $250,000, $254,000.
Yeah,
So
and I'll add on that, John, some companies have a flat, they're going to pay a certain amount every year if their production's at a certain point. So the math is a lot easier on that, because you're just going to add that to your taxable income.
Yes.
So like here at Keller Williams, it is $21,000 with your royalty and your cap commission that you pay into the company. So we would just add the $21,000 to our taxable income at that point.
Right, right. Or you add that as a, well, we're going to talk about business expenses here in a minute. That'll be the next one, because we'll have business expenses also. We could just potentially add that as a business expense, and we can just make this 100%.
Right.
Okay, if you're on a cap type split. So running a business costs money too. So note back here, this is this weird kind of cobalt blue. So we want to drag this weird cobalt blue number right here. So running a business costs money. So we have board dues, we have MLS fees, we have office fees, license renewal, insurance if you have to pay that. How much you're going to spend on education, how much you're going to spend on advertising and marketing this year. And that's going to be your annual business expenses. So income before commission split was the blue number from before. Then we moved this yellow number here to annual business expenses. So our targeted gross income. So let's say it was $250,000 here, plus we have let's just say $25,000 of annual business expenses. So that makes this $220 or $275,000. And I want you to run through these numbers for your own business so we can get down to brass tacks on how much business you're going to have to do this year. Right now, our targeted gross income based on this generic numbers that I've given you is $275,000. That's if you're on a 75% split and you want to make $125,000 this year in your pocket to pay your personal expenses and to save some, hopefully. So now we take, let's go back. See this weird mauve color? We're going to take that weird mauve color and we're going to stick it in right here. So now how many transactions do you need to close? Now that you know how much you need to earn, let's figure out how much real estate business you need to complete to reach your goals. So if your average commission split is 2.8, do you know what your average commission split is? I think most people are going to say that their average commission split is 3%. But if you really go through and you look at every transaction you did last year, most of the time it comes up to be less than 3%. If you typically charge 3%. Some brokerages in town and some agents charge 3.5. Great. So their average commission split is going to be higher. But the reason that I typically put in 2.8 is because once in a while you get one of those deals where it's a $15,000 house or a $40,000 house and you only got $750 or $1,000 for it. That adjusts your commission split, because on that deal you're not getting, you're getting a higher split. Or there's some deals where you're selling new construction, you only get 2.5%. And so that's adjust your average commission split too. So just for weirdness, and you know, basically I typically see mine being around 2.8. I put 2.8 in here. So we divide that by 100 to give us 0.028%. We drop that down here. So our number here was, I forget, $275,000 if I remember right. So we take $275,000 divided by 0.028 divided by I did it wrong, sorry. 275 divided by 0.028 equals $9,821,000. So our target sales volume is going to be 9.8 million. So we'll put that target sales volume in here, 9.8 million. I want you to calculate your target sales volume, not just go off my numbers. The more accurate you can be with these numbers. On this average commission, I suggest you go and you put in a spreadsheet, or you ask your broker to help you, or someone in your office, how much was my average commission last year? And go back and figure every transaction you did and what your average commission was, what your commission was divided by what the sales price was, and come up with a column in an Excel spreadsheet to show you how much that number was, and then average them together so you can get this. The more accurate your numbers are being here, the easier, the better this is all going to work. So right now, our targeted sales volume based on the generic numbers I've given you is $9.8 million. So now we move this purple number down to here. And now we have a volume. How many houses do we have to sell? What's our average sales price? Average sales price in Topeka right now is like $165. But what's your average sales price? It does make a difference. So again, when you go and you put all your transactions into a spreadsheet and you know exactly what's all your transactions sold for, you should be able to calculate your average sales price. Maybe it's 140-ish or so. Maybe it's 200. Great. So you take your targeted sales volume divided by your average sales price. Let's just say your average sales price is $100,000. So I take 9.8 million divided by 100,000 is equal to 98. So my target transactions is 98 transactions. I have to do 98 transactions. Now, if my average sales price is 150, let's go back. 9.8 million divided by 150. Let's say that was my average sales price, and you should put real numbers in here. It should be $154,062 or something. So that means if my average sales price is 150, I have to do 65 transactions. So let's just say that this number is 65. So we know that we have to do 65 transactions to go all the way back to the point that I want to make $125,000 to pay my bills and save a little bit of money or do something else with. Does that make sense? I sure hope so. So now we take the pink number, we move to the next page, we put that pink number in both of these. So you need to know what percentage of your sales were from the seller side and what percentage of your sales were from buyer sides. When you have this number, I just put 60-40 in here, just for, to show you how this would work. You put 0.6 in here or 0.4. but you should know exactly what your percentages are. Last year I was like 68% sellers and the rest was buyers. So if you know exactly what those numbers are, it's going to help you determine what the real numbers are here. So let's say it is 60%. So now I know that I have 65 transactions to complete. I'm going to take that times my 0.6. So that means I need 39 seller sides. I need 26 buyer sides. So how am I going to reach these 39 seller sides? How am I going to get 39 listings and get those sold? How many is that when I divide that by monthly or monthly? 39 sure sounds like it's really close to 3 sellers a month I need to sell. How many transactions do you need to do, or how many listings do you need to take to ensure that you sell that many transactions? We're going to get there. So now that we know this number is going to be 65, all right, this is going to be 65 and this is going to be 26. What's our rate of success? Out of all the listings you take, how many actually sell? Is that 80%? Is it 90%? Maybe it's 100%. Right now in this market, almost every listing you take is probably going to sell. So figure out what your rate of success is. How many listings did you take last year versus how many seller side transactions did you have? Put that percentage in here. And so let's just say it's 80%. So I have to sell 65 minus 26 equals. I have to sell 39 seller side transactions. And let's say that 80% of mine close. So I take that divided by 0.8, it's equal to 48. So even though I need 39 seller side transactions, I have to take 48.77 listings if I'm at 80% success rate. So now we know we need to take 48 listings if I want to make $125,000 to pay my bills and to, save some money. 48 listings I have to take. How many is that? 4 a month, right? Based on these numbers. Now you might not be shooting as high as I am. Maybe you don't need $125,000 at the end of the year. Maybe you just need 100. Maybe you just need 75. Maybe you just need 50. You need to put your numbers into the spreadsheet to determine how many listings you need to take. If you just need $50,000 this year, you're going to be surprised that this number may come out to be 1. You need to take 1 listing a year or a month to ensure that you can reach your goals. If you take that 1 listing a month, everything else goes backwards and you reach your goals. You pay your taxes, you pay your business expenses, you pay your bills, and you have some money left over, depending on what your numbers are. Again, it's very important that you go through here and you put your numbers in here. I encourage you to have a spreadsheet with all this stuff in it so that you can track all this stuff. So when you're doing, and do that for 2020. So when you're doing these numbers, you know exactly what your numbers are, so you can figure out exactly how many listings you need to take and how many buyer side clients you need to find. So let's say buyer side transactions. I needed 26, and let's say my success rate is 80%. So 26 divided by 0.8 is 32. I got to find 32 buyers to work with this year, and I got to take 48 listings. Now I know exactly what I got to do. Now divide that by 12, and that's what you have to do every month. I need to find 3 buyers and 4 sellers every single month. Break that down into 4. I need to find 1 listing every single week, and I need to find 1 buyer almost every week. If all you do is know those numbers to make $125,000 based on these numbers that I put in here, and these are pretty generic numbers with the success rates and the percentages. If I know these are my numbers, I have to take 1 listing a week and I have to take 1 buyer a week. Is that possible? Can I do that? What do I need to do in my business on a daily basis to ensure that I can take 1 listing or I can take 1 buyer? What if it's Thursday afternoon and I haven't taken a listing yet? What happens Friday? I kick it in a full gear and I hunt for a listing hard. I call every seller I've ever talked to that said they might want to list in the future, and I talk to them and see what I can do to take that listing. I promise you that if you work your business in this capacity, like it's Thursday afternoon and I don't have a listing yet, and I get on the phone and I make 20, 30, 40 phone calls to old sellers or people that might want to sell their house or people I know just to say, hey, I'm supposed to take a listing this week. I've given myself this goal and I haven't found one yet. Who do you know that might be selling a house in the near future? And you called everyone you know. If you didn't find a listing that day, you'll find a listing in the next couple of weeks because you talked to these people. It sparked in their mind that you're looking for a listing. They're going to want to help you. And you may get 2 or 3. You may be surprised. If you follow this and you commit to taking one listing a month or one listing every week or whatever your numbers come up to be and finding one buyer a week based on this model. If you meet these goals, there's no reason why your business won't thrive and survive and do better. Because if you follow this goal, you're going to find more listings. You're going to find you're doing more business than what you intended to do, and you're going to make more money, which is the whole goal of this business. That's why you got in real estate, right? To make money, to have a flexible schedule. Okay, let's talk about this, marketing ideas. Business, we have to get out there, we have to market, we have to talk to people, we have to do things. So now that you know how many buyers and sellers you need to work with, what are you going to do to get more customers? Below are just a few activities to stimulate your thoughts. Can you do more open houses? We're almost to the point. COVID's, I don't want to say it's gone, but it's a little more balanced out where people are okay with it. That we wear our masks, we use our hand sanitizer, and doing open houses is okay again. Can you work a geographic farm? Are you working your neighborhood? Do they know you're a realtor? Do they know you live in the neighborhood? Are you talking to 200 to 400 people in your neighborhood about your business? FSBOs. Are you working the FSBOs? Or do you have annual client events? You can get all your past clients together and your friends and people that know, like, and trust you. What kind of promotional event marketing are you doing? Are you working, are you door knocking? Have you door knocked your neighborhood just to see who's thinking about moving in the near future? Are you blogging? Do you have an email newsletter? Are you doing Instagram? Are you doing Facebook? Are you doing YouTube videos? What can you do to ensure that you find more clients and customers this year in 2021 that's going to get your business to help you reach your goals? So now you know how much money you need to earn to pay your bills, to save a little bit of money. And we've broken that down into how many houses you have to sell, how many buyers and sellers you need to obtain to reach your goals. I'm going to share this whole presentation with Amanda, and all you have to do is ask her for it. She'll give it to you. And then work this workbook, put all these numbers in there, and then keep it handy. And once or twice a month, just glance at that number. Put it up on your board somewhere in front of your desk and say, I need to get 4 sellers and 4 buyers every single month. And if you put that up somewhere, remember that part where we talked about the dream board, the vision board? By seeing that number every day, you're going to know whether you're on track or whether you're not. Subliminally, your mind's going to make you work harder to ensure you hit those numbers. And if you need, if you're having a hard time hitting your numbers, talk to your broker, talk to a top agent in your office and ask them what you could do more to, find more customers so you can hit the goals that you've set for yourself. So just a couple of quotes I have here. A year from now, you may wish you had started today. Anything you do today is going to produce business for you in the future. The business, the efforts we're putting into our business right now are going to pay off for us in 60 to 90 days. If you're not doing anything above and beyond right now, your business in 30 to 60 days is going to stop. I've seen so many agents, they come in as a broker. I saw this a lot because I had to track this. They come in the business and they get all excited and they're marketing. And they're talking to lots of people, and then they get 2 or 3 transactions under contract, and then they're working those deals. And they forget to do their marketing. They forget to make calls. They forget to continue their marketing stuff. The next month, zero, no transactions. They had 2 this month, but they have 0 transactions this month. Holy heck, I got 0 transactions this month. What do I got to do? I got to get on the phone. I got to make things happen. Work. And all of a sudden they get like 2 or 3 transactions. Then they work those transactions, and the next month they got a 0. So real estate can be like this if you let it, but don't let it. This comes back to working on your business and working in your business. If you're working on your business and consistently marketing and doing things on a daily basis to produce business for the future, then you're going to have a pipeline of business that's just every month you're going to have sales and transactions on a steady basis. Managing your schedule is where that comes into play. So the things A year from now, you may wish you have started today. What if you take some of this information and you know you have to have X amount of transactions every single month, X amount of listings, X amount of buyers, and you can do that? What's your business going to look like in 12 months from now? If you can actually set your schedule and you can maintain following these goals, it's going to look awesome. I promise. Know what you want and work to get it, then value it once you have it. If you know what you want, if you know what that goal is, work hard to get it. Reach that goal each and every month. We're breaking this goal down into monthly goals. We can break this goal into weekly goals. 1 listing a week, 1 buyer a week. That's what my numbers were. Your numbers may not be as high as my number. It may be easier than that. You may just need 2 listings a month or 1 listing a month to reach your goals. And then work hard to get it. And then once you get it, say, wow, this isn't as hard as I thought it was. The next one's just pick a goal and stick to it. No big complicated secret. If you know what that goal is, just stick to it. Go for it. Make it happen. And it's good to have an end to journey towards, but it's the journey that matters in the end. Just because you have a goal doesn't mean you're going to hit it. You have to put in the time and the effort to reach that goal. And even though we know where we want to be in 10 years, enjoy the journey. Just because we're not, if you're behind on your goals or whatever, let's just step back, find a way to get back on track, but enjoy the journey that gets us there. So, any questions? Drop them in the chat box. That's essentially the presentation. What time is it? We got 3 minutes for questions.
John, I want to thank you. Always great to have somebody come in and help present at our classes. This is awesome information. I will also say it can be hard to get a topic like this talked about in an hour's time frame. Typically, a class like this is like a morning session or an afternoon session. So I really
got about 10 slides.
yeah, but it's valuable information, and it's good for anybody who has plans for a big business. And this is the roadmap to make that happen. This gets very detailed with what you need to do. And knowing your numbers is extremely important for any business. I don't care if it's real estate or if it's another type of business. If you're managing that business, you need to know your numbers. You need to know where you're at constantly. And having them in front of you constantly, reminding you of that, is as important. So tracking everything, whether it's your bookkeeping, your appointments, and how many you're getting, it's all extremely important for you to have success in this business, for sure.
It is. Well, I don't see any questions in the chat box. Amanda, I hope you recorded this. It says recording in the top. So yay for everyone that couldn't be here today, because hopefully they're out listing houses that we can sell later today. Yep. But I appreciate the opportunity to present. Amanda will have a copy of the presentation. I'll send it to you here in just a few minutes, Amanda. And I thank you guys.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it.
Thank you, John.
Amanda, thank you.
Thank you, Toby. Good work, everybody. See you soon.
See you.